Welcome to yet another Safi Vintage Homes edition, and this time round we are back. We are back to Buziga, and previously I had showed you what is going on at this particular project in Buziga. Now, for those of you that missed out on the previous videos, allow me just bring you up to speed. We had the client get in touch with us and contracted us to do a bit of redesigning of the interior. We had a couple of spaces we were focusing on in this particular house, and well, so far so good if you ask me. The kitchen was busy, you saw the process, you saw the works going on. If you didn't, please go to our Instagram, scroll down, and you'll be able to see the video of us in Buziga and what we have been cooking and what we have been working on. Now listen, if you have a plate, I need you to get a fork and a knife, because I'm about to serve you something very hot and something that will make you start serving more, because this interior could be your interior. Now walk with me. For starters, you are welcomed by this magnificent, gigantic pivot door, which speaks volumes of luxury. It speaks volumes of security. You know, there's a bit of muscleness needed if you to open this door, but that is going to guarantee you one thing: heavenly luxury. And of course, the wood that is used here is not your normal typical wood. This is wood that has been imported, and wood that is definitely going to guarantee you a lot of safety. I have to talk about safety because it's very important when we are dealing with Safi Vintage Homes. But walk in with me. This is what we call our walkway. And the beauty about it is that now it's more lightful than ever. You know, we have our lights on. The gypsum design hasn't changed. For those of you that haven't seen it, there you go. We still have our 3 spotlights that are beautifying this entire walkway because of the light. If you look onto the walls, we do have the color wall effect. We're still maintaining this particular design, and well, depending on what colors you choose to have in as far as light is concerned, well, you will have the reflection down here. We do have other spotlights just next to the skirting of the wall, continuing to give you, more ambience in as far as light is relatable. Onto the wall, you can see the wood has definitely gotten some life into it, and we have managed to give it, a white touch to just bring out the calmness. White and luxury, well, if you ask me, they tend to tangle. Now, away from this entire place, you walk with me to what we call the hallway. Now, this is where you start to catch a breath of fresh air. Remember, I told you we'll be bringing fresh air into this particular house, and yes, we have done it. One thing for sure is that if you are too tired to make it to your upstairs bedroom, man, this could be a place where you sleep. And we're gonna have a couch here. The plan hasn't changed. It's still into purchase phase, and we'll have a couch here whereby once you walk in, this is where you take a chill pill fast. This is where you relax and be like, Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Allah. Thank you so much for bringing me back home. You need to do that every time you make your way back home safely. And of course, back to the wall. If you all remember, I call this the wall of femme, or which could be an art wall, and that hasn't changed. We maintained the art. As you can see right here, we have this beautiful art piece that just speaks luxury, just speaks niceness. I mean, every time God blesses you with some money, you need people to see it. You need Allah's name to be glorified. And this is how you do it, man. East, west, home is best. If home is good, then you are good to go. Safi Vintage Homes comes in right at that point. Now, here's going to be the couch whereby you'll be able to sit, take off your shoes, and, place them on this other side. We still maintain the color wall effect. We have that bit of a theme within this particular house. Now, as you can see, this entire place is lit up beautiful. But we move on to my second favorite place in the house. We promised you we're going to have a mirror here. And guess what? We just served. We have the mirror. For those of you that are catching up with why we put a mirror here, well, for starters, this shows you the center of the house. Secondly, it adds beauty to the house. Third, there's a reflection of the skies, and that means that you can have a feel of the heavenly clouds every time you are in the house, creating a more cool atmosphere, if you ask me. And For those of you that love yourself some selfies, well, you need to have a center mirror in your house. Contact Safi Vintage Homes and we got you hooked. Now, away from the mirror itself, as you can see, we made good use of the shelves that we talked about. There's a bit of accessories that, we managed to place in, and the accessories, one may wonder, why do we have these accessories in here? Well, the reason is simple. They add a bit of magical touch. Remember where I said we are breathing fresh air into this house? These are some of the accessories we use to bring in the touch of fresh air. And then, of course, you have this entire table-like feel. Then, you can be able to store whatever things you want to store in these cabins. And yeah, for easy accessibility right in the center of the house. All this is courtesy of Safi Vintage Homes. Now, away from that, we go to the real magic, the realest of all in this entire house. Now, this is where we had to put our A game. This is where we had to put our A+ game. This is where we had to have sleepless nights so that this place could turn out into what you see. Now, for starters, I want us to appreciate the art that we do have on this extra side of the wall. This is all part of what we have done with this entire resting place. You can put a horse, you can put whatever art piece. It could be your family, it could be anything. Well, it's up to you. But away from that, you will notice the molding of this pole. We have a bit of similarity in between this part of the house, this part of the floor, together with the molding. The color is similar, if not the same. And of course, the artistic design of the molding, very important if you are to talk about beautifying the house. And then we get onto the pole itself. Now, with the pole comes a bit of white and a touch of gold. When we talk white and a touch of gold, we are still looking at the luxury part of this entire beautiful resting area. And then, of course, we do walk all the way to what you could call the entry part. The molding design is still the same. We maintain the similarity and the look of this particular place, and we walk to the actual place. Now, those of you that watched the previous video, remember how this place was. There was a bit of work going on. There was a bit of, designs being repeated here and there, changed, and, lots of work was happening. But with the final piece, oh boy, do you get to enjoy this comfortable place. Now, listen, real quick. This is just for me, just to make it very clear. If I owned this place in my house, or if this was what belonged to me in the entire house, I would have a bit of rules to it. One, don't just access it. First, take a shower. Don't just leave town and then come and, just sit. No, you need to maintain the whiteness. You need to maintain the luxuriness. And the best way to do that is making sure that you are clean. Even if you've been in the house the whole day, trust me, my rule will be don't access this place without showering. You ought to maintain it. But anyway, who am I? Those are just my rules. The client could have different rules. But now spinning it to our shelves or our cabins, as you can see, we continue to add a bit of beauty with different accessories. Now remember, we had talked about souvenirs. We talked about, different accessories. And as you can see, we have a couple of them. Oh, this is courtesy of Safi Vintage Homes. Depending on what design you want, we find it and we bring it to you. As you can see, we're talking a bit of logos here and there. We're talking, artistic designs like this Jeep, depending on what you like, we find it and we bring it to you. The fluted panel design is speaking volumes more than ever. The smoothness, the luxury itself that you feel once you touch this is unbeatable. And this is where Safi Vintage Homes continues to take top notch. We do all our work with love, with passion, and this is why it looks the way it looks. And away from this particular area, we get to this other wall. Now you remember, this is the wall that is literally linking the walkway wall in. So you have the other side that I showed you and this particular side. The designs, the accessories still take center stages. As you can see, we have a couple of them, up, down, maintaining a bit of, fluted panel theme. There's a bit of similarity in as far as, this design and the other design is concerned. Now, one thing in construction that you need to take note of is, making sure that you don't have so many different design patterns in the house. It creates a bit of uncomfortness, if you ask me. But if you maintain a bit of similarity in the theme, in the design, you will have something as perfect as this. And now this entire place becomes what you call a resting area. Now, what's more resting and comforting without, trying it out with a drink, I have something that has been organized for me by the team that I'm going to be sharing. And where is Sheila? And I think I need to toast with Sheila. Sheila! And, let me tell you something. One thing for sure is that we as human beings, sometimes we are not grateful. And because we are not grateful, we don't get to enjoy the results of our sweat. But if you do enjoy the results of your sweat, then you ought to have something as amazing as this. Hi, Sheila. How you feeling?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
So excited to be here.
So excited?
Yeah.
You ready to have a drink with me?
Why not?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Woo-hoo. Yeah, now that's luxury speaking. That's luxury popping. Alrighty. Would you mind? There we go. Oh, amazing. Oh. To the good works of Safi Vintage, and of course to our client that has believed in us and made sure that we bring our magic to work. For those of you that have been in our DMs on our Instagram page, Safi Vintage Homes, we promise to reply each and every one of you as soon as we can. We have a few replies that we have sent out, but in case you want to do any business with us, you're thinking construction, you're thinking redesigning your house, you're thinking interior, get in touch with us. Head over to our social media pages, Safi Vintage Homes, and the team will be right at it. And we'll definitely bring this magic to you. To our client, thank you so much for entrusting Safi Vintage Homes, and we are looking to, further and further deals with you. Cheers to the client. Absolutely.